Man, that was a cool intro. I haven't seen that video before. Well, welcome back, everybody. If you enjoyed the last session, you're definitely going to enjoy this one. It's all about creating web apps with Excel. I feel like creating apps with Excel, no code, automation is really the theme of this year's summit. Even Layla speaking about some AI with ChatGPT. Well, without further ado, let me introduce Jason Clarke. He's from Sheetcast, and he's here to talk about everything we can do to create these very cool web apps and expose all our amazing Excel workbooks to the world via the internet. Jason, I'm going to hand over to you, and I'll see you a little bit later for some Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Matthew. And welcome to Sheetcast, everyone, and welcome to the Global Excel Summit. As I'm going along, just a little bit of housekeeping. Please feel free to put your questions in the chat as we go, and I'll leave some time at the end to answer some questions, if not all of them. So the theme of this year's GES is Excel Beyond Expectations. And I want to take a minute and talk a little bit about Excel, actually. Excel, to me, is one of the most important software products that exists today. Perhaps even one of the most important software products that has ever been created. It's managed to stay relevant for some 40 years now because of its depth and breadth of utility. And it's become ubiquitous the world over. By some estimates, I think it's 750 million people and 63% of companies are using Excel. That's fairly amazing. Now, I know from personal experience working with Fortune 500 companies to implement institutional software, I call it, the big fancy software that runs everything for you, that it's inevitable that one of the top requirements or most common asked questions is, once the expensive institutional fancy software is installed, we can still export all the data to Excel, right? It's almost universal on every project I've ever worked on in the different companies I've worked on throughout my career. And I think that's because Excel gives people a sense of ownership over their business, over their department, over their data. It allows them to understand and use the data outside of the black boxes of institutional systems. And it allows them to deal with edge cases and ad hoc scenarios as their responsibilities and their job demands. It gives them control. This is part of what has made Excel so enduring. Excel is also one of the few software products that is almost endlessly flexible. This means that Excel is always relevant to the user's needs, and that's really at the core what makes it such a valuable product. It's quite incredible when you think about it. How many products provide the power and the flexibility of Excel while providing accessible utility to anyone, even beginners? Kids cataloging their Pokemon cards, Excel professionals building complex models. Quite different ends of the spectrum, but everyone can use and learn Excel in a way that is relevant to them. So, if all of that is true, what does Excel Beyond Expectations look like? It already seems like a pretty powerful product, and it is. Well, we think it looks like Sheetcast. Sheetcast allows Excel users to create their own custom web applications right from within Excel. It's fast, it's easy, and you actually already have the knowledge you need as Excel users. And now you have the power with Sheetcast. We believe Sheetcast is the most innovative, powerful, and easy to use complement to Excel that has ever been created. As you get to know Sheetcast over the next few days, you will also believe that it is the most innovative, the most powerful, and easy to use. And that's because we intentionally designed Sheetcast to be familiar and easy to use by leveraging your existing knowledge of Excel to design and develop your own web applications. From your existing spreadsheets, apps can be made in minutes. And these are not template apps. These are custom designed applications built by you without the need for code. I'm going to get into a short snippet of a demo, a preview of a demo that we'll be doing in our lounge room in a moment. But I'd also like to take a moment as Sheetcast as the brand partner of with Daytel to thank Daytel Productions for putting together such an exciting event again this year. We've got a lot of energy going on in the office right now about this event, and we're all very excited. And I'd also like to thank Zebra BI for their support as lead sponsor of this year's event. So, sorry, I just lost my place here. So we developed Sheetcast to take your powers of Excel beyond your own expectations. Alex is going to join me on stage now. And Alex is going to give you a preview of a demo that we're going to be doing in our lounge room over the next couple of days. Maybe I'll take a moment, let the demo speak for itself. Remember, put your questions in the chat and we'll try and get to some of them, if not all of them at the end. And here's Alex.
Hello. Alrighty, you able to see my screen?
Not seeing it yet. There we go. It's come up.
Perfect. So the demo that I want to show off today is a financial modeling app. This is from the perspective of both a end user, the company, and outside users. So the first page I'd like to show off today is what we call a form page. This page is set up as to allow the data collection from a potential maybe venture capital firm or someone who is wanting to collect some data about other companies. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to set up some of these values. And we can skip some of these because they're not super necessary, but we'll put my name in. And we'll put some of this overview. And one of the things that we offer is things called web file functions. As you see, we can attach files to this. And just like that, we can submit this. And with a click of a button, we are good to go. The file has been submitted. Once the file has been submitted, we can then go into our next part of our demo, which is our setup page. Oh, are you able to see me? Sorry, my camera just flashed out there. We can go into this page here and go to the setup. And once we're in the setup page here, this is where we're able to manipulate our model. So as you see in the top left here, we have our display container. Now this shows all incoming entries.
Alex,
yeah.
Can I just interrupt for a second? I don't know if it's for everybody, but your screen seems to have lagged or frozen on our end.
You're not able to see the setup page that I'm on?
We're still seeing the first form that you pulled up, but your screen seems to have stopped there.
Let me refresh the stream here. Give me 2 seconds.
It might just be lag on the line. It might be
yeah.
lag.
Oh, just 1 second. Sorry, my stream has completely frozen now. I believe I'm having troubles connecting to this stream. 2 moments.
Why don't I give you some time, and perhaps maybe you guys can work backstage to see if you can get that up and running again. And I'll just talk about what a wonderful demo you just did. So we'll try and get back to that demo if we can get rid of the technical issues that we're having. I should note, though, that we will be doing demos throughout the week in our lounge room. And if you go to our booth, you'll see a schedule of when we're going to be doing some specific demos. I'm going to have to go on the fly here and just kind of reorganize my thoughts for a second. So Sheetcast is, what you didn't get to see there is Alex has got a full financial analyst application that he's built that as a custom project, if we were building that as custom software, would have been hundreds of hours of development time, several hundreds of hours, and probably a few months of elapsed time. So if you think about custom software, the requirements gathering, estimating, design and architecting, development, testing and deployment. They're not small projects. And although this is not going to mean much out of context because we didn't get the demo up.
Hello.
What? Oh, are you back, Alex?
I am back. I am back. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, we are.
Sorry about that. Yeah, my computer decided to freeze up mid-demo. So as I was saying before, this is our setup page. This allows us to manipulate our model. As you see in the top here, this shows us all of the records that we have. I can click this, and as you see, here's the record that I just added, and I'm able to download the various files that were attached. We can then use that same file that we have in our import function. We can prepare it. It warns us about data being replaced. That's great. It allows us to make sure that we're importing only what we want. We can import our data. We can change this to our name, which we want to set up as, we'll do test company. You click save. We're not going to adjust any of these financials just yet, but we can then navigate to our model, and boom, just like that, we have the test company. And as you see, all of these values here have been imported via that import file that we attached. And there we go. That is
so
our
Alex, I ask you to just quickly go back to the previous screen.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you for showing that to us. I just wanted to pause on this screen for a second, and I'm just going to actually just give everybody a moment to digest what they're looking at. And then I want to point out what's actually happening here. So everything you're seeing on screen is driven from a spreadsheet. From the layout, from the design, from the fields, everything comes from the spreadsheet. So this isn't something where you're learning new ways of doing things in terms of building your sheets. You're doing the same things you've always done. You're using the same layout tools. You're using the same formulas. And then you're sheet casting your app online.
For sure.
So import safely, for example, import sheets safely. That's actually allowing you to bring in external data sources from other spreadsheets, validate it against the spreadsheet where you're placing the data, make sure that it's correct, and then safely import that so you can pull in new information from third parties. All of the buttons that you see are generated by Sheetcast. There's no coding, no VBA required. And the layout is also driven from an Excel spreadsheet as well. So once Alex imported all of that, then if you go back to your next your screen, Alex, you can see that all those results have come in, and now the analysis can begin. Sorry, Alex, I just wanted to just kind of back up and just
No worries.
give a little bit of context there.
And just building off of what he said, as you see here in our top headers, we have our financial years for the various things for historical and projected. If we want to adjust our model without actually having to go in Excel, even headers, we can go into here. Well, let's select 2018 as our current year. We can click this button, submit it, and then navigate back to our model. And as you see, our last financial year has been updated to 2018, and the projected and previous historical years have also followed. Similarly, when I had set up the name, the test company, which I have spelled wrong, has also carried across. So this allows us to really make sure that anything in these reports allows us to have the flexibility as you would in Excel to change things, but protects the underlying spreadsheet.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Alex. So as I was saying, the app you just saw, and there's more to it. That's just a quick preview of what we'll show in more detail in the lounge room. Hundreds of hours of development time and a few months of elapsed time. Alex designed the spreadsheet, created the app you just saw in less than 20 hours, and that included the time thinking about what he wanted to build in the first place. So let's just stop for a moment and think about that. From inception to completion, custom software would have taken several months and many hundreds of hours. Sheetcast did it in less than 3 days. custom software in less than 3 days. This is Excel beyond. This is excelling beyond expectations. So why is this important, and why should anyone care? Well, let's just think about what we were talking about. Let's think about cost. For years, businesses have been forced to choose between affordable off-the-shelf software and expensive custom software. Now, with off-the-shelf, it offers affordable solutions, but are not often quite the right fit. So that typically leads to multiple systems, compromised business processes, and in the worst cases, a lack of general cohesion across various departments. On the other hand, custom software is often time-consuming, expensive, risky, and quite frankly, not everyone can afford to go that route. Not everyone can afford custom software. Now that Sheetcast has leveled the playing field, businesses don't have to choose. They can have the best of both worlds, low cost and exactly what they want and need their software to do. And what about innovation? Now that Excel users can create their own applications, how will they innovate? With the ability to build software that adds value to their clients, supports their innovative business processes, and allows for a greater connection and collaboration of people and ideas, where will they take us? Where will you take us as Excel users? Remember at the beginning of our presentation, all the things that make Excel so impressive. Endless flexibility, relevant to the user's needs, accessible to anyone, from kids and their Pokemon cards to complex business models built by professionals. Ownership and understanding of their data and their business. We have developed Sheetcast to support and maintain all of the advantages of Excel. We allow you, the user, to create real software. Not limited data views, not simple data capture, real software that behaves the way you expect it to and the way you want it to. You can even control the look and feel of your software the exact same way you would control the look and feel of your spreadsheets. You work from within your spreadsheets. And to be clear, it is Excel and Sheetcast that makes all of this possible. Sheetcast is not just taking spreadsheets online. It's not just taking data online. Your Excel spreadsheets are directly powering functional web applications. Excel users just like you are creating custom applications that are exactly what they need for their jobs, their departments, their customers, their businesses. Apps that protect your data and formulas, apps that allow you to safely and quickly import external data without having to copy and paste, apps that have workflows, notifications, roles and permissions, apps for data collection, data presentation, real software. And the innovation behind Sheetcast is real. We have several patents pending and granted, and we think this is truly a revolution. This is truly Excel beyond expectations. I'm looking forward to showing everyone more about Sheetcast. For those of you that want to see more and learn how Sheetcast can take you beyond expectations, we'll be providing both ad hoc and scheduled demos in our lounge room daily throughout the show. We have a few specific demos, such as Sheetcast for accounting, financial analysis, managers and executives, and perhaps most interesting, Sheetcast for Excel consultants and business analysts. As I said earlier, we have our schedule posted in our booth, along with the video that you saw at the beginning. So please come and join us. We love talking about Sheetcast. We love talking about Excel. And we can't wait to meet all of you. So this is a moment where we've got a little bit of time left, and we'd love to answer any questions. Matthew, you are on mute.
I am indeed. Thank you so much for pointing that out. It's getting later in the day in South Africa here, so I am running on coffee a bit. Well, that was awesome. I mean, okay, so tons of questions. I think everybody's interested in turning their Excel spreadsheets into apps, me included. So let's have a look at some of the questions. And I see Will, I'm assuming he's also from Sheetcast, has also been, popping some answers in the chat. So that's been quite helpful. Maybe some ones that's just for general interest. So Ryan Newcomer says, do you have to purchase licenses for just developers or layperson users as well?
Great question. I didn't talk about pricing and the licensing model at all. So there's typically an implementation up front where we help you get into the system, train you, and show you how to build apps. And we help you build that first app so that you have a successful app up and running. It's really important to us that you get the early successes. Then our licensing model is the same for developers and users. So we consider anybody that's logging in to either design or use an app, so a named user and login, to be a user. And we have two pricing models around that. So you can have unlimited users and pay a per column in the spreadsheet price of $10 per column. Or you can have unlimited columns, unlimited apps, and have a per user cost of $12. And again, a user is anybody logging into an application created by Sheetcast or to design an application with Sheetcast. So the reason we've picked this kind of hybrid pricing model, or this A/B pricing model, is you can imagine a consultant that has thousands of customers that he's building apps for, but maybe he's only building apps with 10 columns of data in them. So it would be much more affordable for him, rather than to pay for thousands of users, just to pay for $10, 10 columns of data. On the flip side of it, you might have, let's say, a university research institute using Sheetcast to create applications. They may have thousands and thousands and thousands of columns, slight hyperbole. But there's probably only 3 people in the department that need the app. So they would just pay for the 3 people in the department, and they could do unlimited building, unlimited applications. Other than that, we don't restrict functionality. We don't restrict use. Everybody has the same access.
Great, thanks. Christian asks, where are the apps hosted? Would this be an internal intranet, or are the apps hosted on your cloud?
Apps are definitely hosted on the cloud. We because of protection of IP and all the rest of it, we would only do internal hosting for clients that are very, very large, because we would have to set up a different environment for them that would include protections of the IP.
Fantastic. And just a comment from Justice, which I completely agree with. Justice says, this is amazing. Who could imagine Excel to play this role in the 90s? It is really awesome. Yeah, and never mind the 90s, right? Just a few years ago. I think that this is such a cool way of allowing people to develop almost an Excel programming language, if you like, and then expose that to users. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Justice, thank you for that comment. And it kind of gives me chills. There is an incredible amount of innovation that's gone into Sheetcast. One of the core principles was that we wanted a tool that anyone that knows how to use any part of Excel could use to create web applications. So the dependency and the leverage comes from the power of Excel, not from learning a new way of doing things, not from learning new formulas. We do have some custom functions in Sheetcast, but they're used just as you would use a function within Excel. So the idea that this to me is beyond low code, no code. I think, Matthew, you said it well. It's using Excel as a development platform. And when I talk at the education panel I'm talking on, I have some thoughts around what that means for students and learning and the integration of Excel into education.
Awesome. I did put myself on mute there. If you do hear my son in the background, it's his bath time, so you might hear some toddler noises. Quite an important question, maybe just to end off, and I'm sure that this is also addressed, but obviously there's always concern around the cloud when it comes to security and privacy. People might be, creating apps for an intranet, but that might be based on company data. So Hetman asked the question is, how is the data secured in the cloud?
So I'm not the best person to answer that particular technical question, but I will say this. Pleasant Solutions, who is the parent company of Sheetcast, we've been in business for about 15 years developing custom software and building a fairly well-known product called Pleasant Password Server that is a enterprise level password manager used by very large institutional organizations. Some of our clients include NASA, the royal family, the White House, like military organizations and banks. So I'll just suffice to say we know a little bit about security and how to protect data and information.
Awesome. Jason, thank you so much. Of course, if you do have any more questions for the Sheetcast team, Jason, where can everybody find you? Do you have a booth at the summit? Where can people ask more questions?
So we have a booth at the summit. You can see our video there and our schedule in our lounge room. We will be checking in on our booth, but we'll be focused on the lounge room and doing demos. Also, reach out to anybody that you see at the show that's part of the Sheetcast team. We're more than happy to do one-on-ones and interact. We're looking to doing lots of meeting and greeting and introducing at the show this year.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I mean, this is really, as I said, awesome to see. I think there's excitement and enthusiasm in the chat as well. Thanks to Will as well for answering all the questions in the chat. And we'll see everybody in about half an hour for the Excel in Education panel discussion. I look forward to chatting with everybody then. Have a quick break. See you just now.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Matthew.